How did I get in this room? Another episode, and this is special because for the first time we have our first returning guest.
We have a part two here.
Duh.
Part duh.
Yeah.
Dos. So the King James Worthy.
I know.
He came back.
He did come back.
And so cool. One of our very first, artists and guests that came on, and he has a new release. His EP will be dropping
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. It's a very lucky day for all.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, so just do a little search, and you will find King James Worthy. He's been in the music business for a minute now, worked with some very high profile people, doing his own thing. He's got this really great kind of like smooth R&B vibe going, but at the same time, it's very modern. And I love everything the man does, obviously.
Well, his attitude,
or we wouldn't have had him back.
He's just fun to have on.
Yeah.
He always comes on with a smile. We were delayed a little bit. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I got some time. It's neat to have this family of guests that feels like this is where they want to promote their new projects.
And James is wonderful because he's engaging with us all the time. He's commenting on social media posts and stuff, and you can tell that he's invested in the whole thing, and I think that's what we really like about him. And a lot of times, 90% of the time, we're talking to guests via Zoom or whatever, but he's one of the guys that we immediately had a connection with, and we felt close to. Yeah. He's one of us.
He came, and it started with Cujo, one of our other guests.
Cujo Goody,
right?
absolutely. Goody Mob, shout out Goody Mob.
So shout out to Goody Mob, love Atlanta, that family there. But there's something special about that relationship and how that happens. And so, James coming back on, and he's working with Big Gip right now on some other new projects. Yeah. So I feel like he's going to be like a part 3.
Yeah, and you guys let us know. You can always hit Margot or myself up on social and let us know. Did you like the episode? Did you like the guests? Who would you like to see? And we're certainly down for like going after those artists. And but he's just a good dude, and hopefully we get to see him on tour in Houston. That would be amazing.
He promised.
Did he promise? I don't know that
we're gonna hold you to it.
He kind of leaned into that. All right, so here's the deal. Here's the interview, guys. I'm gonna let you all check it out. And again, King James Worthy, new music out Friday the 13th. Check it out.
I can't help it, 'cause your ass got me thinking crazy, like I'm missing composure. It's like you got some type of hold on me, and we only met just for this time. It seems like I've known you my whole life, and I've never been the same since I met you. I'm feeling out of control. You always have my mind on you, always thinking about you. And ever since that first night, it seems like I've been going crazy about you.
Okay, so without further ado, the King James Worthy here. Thank you. You're coming back, so that this is not that bad.
Thank you guys for having me again.
So you are our first time returning guest. First one. And I think we got a good one. All right, man, let's jump in because come on, exciting stuff, man. New music, talk about it.
Yes, new music, new project, new EP, getting ready to drop September 13th, which is next Friday. Super excited about that because it's my 3rd EP in about maybe 4 or 5 years. So it's like people have really been waiting for that. And of course, I've dropped music in between, the time frame. But as far as a full body of work or just a body of work in general, it's pretty dope. I'm always known for concepts and, the mystique thing. So people are really excited for that.
Yeah, you definitely keep the mystique, and we talked about this before. You're mysterious on your social. You know, you've got 1 million followers and such, and like very few posts. I've got maybe 1,000, and I post nine posts a day. But
I have none.
you know, but you're the coolest one on this show right now. So speaking of cool, tell us what's the inspo. Where are you right now in the excitement level of your new drop?
Well, it's called Cups of Coffee. It's a 5-song EP, and basically it's just a mixture of genre bending and then a mixture of what I would say, should I say, like I'm talking about different things. Like I'm talking about different topics about life, love, and just being, you know, a creative, eclectic person as I am, or I would describe myself. So, you know, that's kind of what the base of it is, but it's kind of a little bit for everybody in there. So, you know, you got your up tempo stuff, you got your pop dance stuff, then you got your hip hop and R&B, then you got, you know, just different stuff going on. But it's not, you know, like what the heck is he doing? You know, it makes sense. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of show people the versatility and the growth of not only the James Worthy brand, but just the sound. And also the cherry on top is collaborating with some people that I know personally as well, Big Gip and Brian McKnight Jr., who's on the project. So yeah, it's dope.
So we were getting prepped for the interview, so we had we had Your Heart Energy remix at full blast in the house a few minutes ago, you know, getting ready.
Love it.
That's a banger, by the way. I love that song. So when it gets time, like you said, this is 30p. When it's time to record album, EP, whatever, is it okay, let's sit down and write, or are you accumulating beats, lyrics, maybe just putting stuff on voice notes as the inspiration hits, and then you're like, oh, I have enough material, it's time now?
A little bit of all the above. You know, sometimes my creative process is a little bit unorthodox, so it's not really structured. It's kind of like whatever hits me at the time. So it might start with melodies. It might start with something that I've already had in the tuck, or it might start with an idea that I'm creating with someone else with, or, you know, however the chips may fall. It's just about putting the puzzle together, you know? So a lot of times these days is I'll kind of start with the melody first and then form the concepts and then the production around it. And then just kind of keep building the piece from there.
So cool. Well, you got to tell me though, because it's Friday, so we all need a little coffee. What's the symbolism of coffee?
I'm drinking wine.
I love wine too. Can't go wrong with that. As far as coffee is concerned, it's just really a metaphoric way to me introducing my growth in different styles to my audience and to the world. So, you know, I was thinking about not only what the title would be, but how do I translate and explain where I'm at musically and even personally in my music in a clever way. And that's where Cups of Coffee came about, because I'm a coffee lover anyway. So I'm like, well, look, I got to have my coffee in the morning anyway. What do I like to listen to in the morning? What gets me going? And I'm like, you know what? The music that I'm making right now is what gets me going. So I'm like, why not call it Cups of Coffee?
Well, coffee comes up a lot on our end, James, because Margot has yet to purchase herself a coffee maker.
What?
So she has to go out, or I have to bring it to her.
Okay. You got cured or something.
That's what I'm saying, man. We've got technology.
We're gonna have a cup of coffee.
I mean, this is not the dark ages.
I know.
James, I wanted to ask, man, because obviously, you're dropping this in a week, and will we get to see it live? I mean, will you tour? Are you going to do some shows? What happens?
Absolutely. So expect music videos, of course, to some of these songs. Definitely expect live shows. I'm going to be doing a Tiny Desk segment strictly on YouTube first, and then we're going to start booking tour dates right after that. So yeah, you guys will definitely see this stuff live.
We want to see you live. We believe in the power of live music for sure.
You can't go wrong with that. I mean, it's just a different vibe and a different feel. And sometimes you might hear a song and you like the song, but once you kind of hear it live and you kind of see other people's reactions in real time, like you have a different respect for it too.
Yeah, I see. I feel like it gets you more excited, after all the work that you put into this,
Right.
and to actually be able to engage with the fans and, experience that IRL in real life.
Yes, I know.
In real life, that's what that means. But how rewarding is that? For as much work as you put in, how excited are you to actually show this to your fans and release it to your fans?
It's amazing because I took that gap for a little minute, but even past that, like it's always great to just showcase new music to your audience anyway, because it's fresh, it's new, and especially if it's something that you haven't put out before, and it's something that they really haven't heard from you. That's even the cherry on top of that. So that's kind of where I'm at. And the bigger thing to it is, of course, the live element, and letting them see it live, and kind of letting them see which ones they like the most. Like, because sometimes I kind of hate saying, okay, this might be my favorite song off the project, or this is the grand single, and blah blah blah. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let me just see which ones they like the most and what resonates with them the most, and then we'll kind of go to the drawing board and say, hey, this one might be a little bit stronger than the other one, blah blah blah. Then we keep going from there.
I want to circle back real quick to, you mentioned Tiny Desk, which you obviously know has become a phenomenon on its own. And I've been watching since there's been a Tiny Desk. And I think
That's how old you are.
That's how old I am. And I think it's really smart. It's really smart the way they have started to incorporate all genres of music, from artists who are known for world music to hip hop to whatever, and so many incredible performances. I mean, the George Clinton thing was fire. Thundercat, one of my favorite sets. For folks that don't know, maybe they're familiar with Tiny Desk, but they don't know, do they approach you? Is that a kind of thing like, hey man, we would love you to do this? How does it work?
Well, you have what I call the original Tiny Desk, but then, sometimes people do their own style and renditions of it too. So,
okay.
I look at Tiny Desk like more of just an intimate setting of whether you have an audience or not. It's just an intimate, small setting of the live music. Whether you have a guitarist behind you, you have a full set band, or whatever it is to make it live, that's what it is. And like for me, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, of course, I'm gonna do the whole full Tiny Desk thing, but then also we might do a separate edition to where it's no live audience, and it's just me with maybe my guitarist, a drummer, or something, and then we're just rocking out. But my whole thing is just getting people to feel it, getting people to understand what this is, love it, like it, all that.
Well, we love it and like it already because we love and like you. But tell us about the music videos. What can we expect from the vids of this new release? What's the vibe?
Well, definitely concepts for sure. Most likely you guys will probably get a video for Your Heart for sure. That's really, really going to be a conceptual video. And then I also have another song on the project called Intimate Privacy, which features Big Gift. And we're definitely going to be shooting a video to that. I'm really excited about that one because that's definitely a very conceptual concept song-wise, but it's going to be a storyline attached to it. So that's kind of where the project goes, is it's a storyline. So from top to bottom, when you hear it, you'll kind of get where I'm going, but the videos will match that.
I love that. So I love me some Big Gift too. I love all of Goody Mob. Obviously, that's how we know each other. Tell us, can you refresh the audience? Tell us how you got connected with the famous Goody Mob.
Ooh, okay. Well, I've met CeeLo years and years back, just in passing. We knew a lot of the same people, so that was kind of the first thing. And then years later, I had a studio session with the rapper Corrupt, and we were working on a song called "Top of the World" at the time. And basically, we were finishing up the song, and Corrupt had the idea of putting Big Gift on this particular song. And I hadn't met Gipp at the time. Of course, knew of him, big fan and all that, but we hadn't met yet. So, long story short, Gipp came to the studio that night. He actually put a verse on that song. And that was the first time we not only met, but we worked together. So that's when we kind of stayed in contact, and we started working on more music and more music. And then that kind of turned into us doing a full body of work. And then that turned into me doing work with Cujo. Then that turned into me doing more work with the group. So that's kind of how the whole thing folded together.
That's pretty cool. I love that. So I have a question, because as someone, you know, involved in producing and obviously being a performing artist as well, everybody knows, you know, that streaming has made it more difficult for artists to make the money that, let's say, they did when you had to go out and buy the CD or whatever to own a physical piece of music. And I know vinyl's had its renaissance, but it's yeah, and a lot of people drop vinyl, you know, from Taylor Swift down to whoever, you know, whatever. Do you see any, and I've read a lot about different groups trying to impact the music industry by making a physical piece of music that fans would buy feasible again. I mean, do you see anything like that happening in the future?
Yeah, I mean, you know, even now there's artists that's doing bundles. You know, anytime they're dropping a body of work, they're bundling it with merchandise, you know, whether it's apparel or vinyl copy, CD copy, whatever. You know, that's kind of where it's been for a while, as far as, you know, getting your project to chart high on the Billboard charts, or just getting the sales. You know, that's what they've been doing. But of course, streaming has taken over the majority of the market, which has made it harder for artists to make money, right? But it depends on the platform too. Like, I know a lot of people, they really put Spotify at the top, right? But a lot of people don't talk about the Amazon Music and the Tidal and you know, even Apple Music. Like, you know, those are the ones that actually pay out the most. Spotify is more toward the bottom, ironically. So you know, it's that factor. But then also, what I'm seeing is a lot more artists are going direct to consumer. So they're kind of not really worrying about the streaming aspect, and they're just going directly to their fans to actually sell the product, you know, whether it is on vinyl or CD or, you know, something tangible for them to have, which I can agree with. You know, you want them to have it as much as possible without a platform dictating whether it goes up or comes down.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And I feel like it's such a hot topic, the streaming and such. Merch is obviously a very big aspect of a music career. Is there any new merch that you were planning to drop with everything else?
Oh yeah. We definitely have Humble Sound Records merch coming soon. We got James Murley merch, of course. Cups of Coffee merch is coming. So just all around the board, all the brands is getting merch. So, you know, there's going to be the timeline flooded with merch coming.
I'm going to hit order. We're going to drop some images right now of all the merch that you're going to be.
We'll link it below.
We'll link it below. We want to see you shine even further. Well, I know we got to wrap this up pretty soon. And we have asked you before, how did I get in this room? But now we're going to ask again for the second time. how does it feel being back in the room with this new release? And you know, in 3 words, summarize this new drop.
3 words. Excited,
Good one.
happy, and that's a hard one.
I love stumping you. That was my
helping, happy, excited, and elated. Let's just say that.
That works, man. That works. That works. All right, man.
We
Well,
love
listen.
it.
Hopefully, when you're looking at tour dates, Houston is one of them, man. Because we would love to do this in person, and I know H-Town would show up for it. Congrats on it, man. You know, much continued success.
I appreciate you guys showing so much love and support. And also, you know, you guys let me know what your favorite songs off the project are when it comes out.
You got it.
You know we will. We will be shouting you out and listening to you. Can't wait to see you when you hit the road. And thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
See you, brother. Take care. And this is why I love King James Worthy, because he is all about it. And again, our first guest to return. You asked the question about the music videos and the concepts and all that thing. So I guess we're going to get Your Heart is going to be the first one.
So excited for that.
Yeah.
So, and I love a music video. You know, I grew up in the days of MTV, like still like
when they played music.
When they played music,
Right.
and you have like the videos that people watch, and you know, he seems excited about it, and there's themes, and he's got that passion, and he, you know, I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see what he comes up with.
I am too, and I think that, you know, whenever we get an artist that we get to talk about, and you know, you and I always want to know the behind the scenes, and
we love the BTS.
We love the BTS, but you know, he's very open about everything, and I love the fact that he is excited about this new thing, you know, and I think he gave us some really great insight on the creative process, how he comes up with the music.
He starts with the melody, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Some guests have said they start with the lyrics.
Some people it's the lyrics. Some people it's the riff. Some people it's a beat.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just fascinated by that. I think it's, you know, I think it's amazing. So hopefully, and he talked about, you know, we talked a little bit about like streaming services and how artists make money and all of that stuff. You guys just heard that. But I'm very optimistic about artists like him and new music and where the trends are going, because I think we're in this, like, especially R&B, you know, which is kind of his wheelhouse. There's this kind of renaissance right now where, you know, the old meets the new, and people are into it.
And that's what he was saying. Even on this new drop, this new release, it's a little bit of hip hop, it's a little bit of R&B. He wants to see what connects with the audience, and that's a smart decision, you know, for a young artist that's already so successful to really like want to play with it and see what's vibing. What I really dug is the fact that he's most excited about reconnecting with fans live. So I think that there's, you know, you can listen to a song on the radio, you can listen to a song on Spotify all you want and be like, oh, I love this, I can jam with it. But when you see that artist and you are, you know, in the audience side, and you see him on stage,
it's a different
something
thing.
You just feel that
I've said this before on the show. When somebody turns me on to a new artist, the first thing I do is I go to YouTube and I put in whatever the artist's name is and live, because obviously you made music in a studio, or you produced it and it's out and it's released. What does it sound like live? Yeah. You know, and that's you know what I always kind of default to, because that gives you an impression, an idea of what that artist can do outside of the studio. He talked about Tiny Desk.
Yes.
You know,
real quick, can you tell everyone what Tiny Desk to me means? Like you're in Zoolander. And he's like,
That is amazing.
how can you fiddle the people
So,
if they...
yeah,
You know what line I'm thinking of.
There's someone at NPR screaming right now. So NPR's Tiny Desk series has been this incredible.
You know it too. All of you are laughing. All of our producers are laughing at me.
We're gonna pick up Tiny Desk and what it is.
How can you ever expect them to learn to read if they can't even
We're gonna
fit
pick up
inside the
Margot's
building?
Tiny Desk 101 in the next episode. Guys, we're out of time.
The Center for Ants?
Yes, I love that, Kara.
The
That's
Center
right.
for Ants. We're out of here. We love you. Peace. We're out. Jesus, give me the bad boy red, please. Where's my bottle of wine?